Yeah, it's an interesting time because I don't know whether to move around. I feel like we're with the alphas right now, right in front of us. Because we saw a couple of the other dogs come down to greet them, and the high-pitched twittering and squealing that they do, and then walk back off. So I feel we're with the two dominant animals, and I really want to stick just here if that's okay. But you let me know on Twitter if you want to give me your opinion. It's always worthwhile to hear from everyone. Just give us an idea of what you'd like to do, and we'll always take that into account. But as I said, having Pete out there is great value. Pete's just great value all round, and I'd really love to bring him over to see them as well. So we'll see how we get on this afternoon and see what he's up to as well. I had a question from Jenny and Ashley about how many packs are potentially in the Sabi Sands. Jenny and Ashley, I'm not really sure of the exact number because the home ranges are absolutely spectacular. You can have like anywhere from between 500 and 700 square miles, and that's an incredible, I don't know, I'm trying to do the conversion now for you again. 1.5 to 2,000 square kilometres, if anyone's listening in metric, which I'm sure there are people working metric and miles, but just to get an idea, it's a vast area, and they can traverse those vast areas, and you'll get sometimes a greater population than other times. But what we are finding is, here's a nice bit of interaction happening now, folks. I think it's starting. Now have a listen to this. This could be the pet rally. Watch. Oh, love it. Oh, so glad we waited, folks. Oh, yes. This is the pet rally. This is what they do. See where they've gone, mate? Behind us. It really is what I was waiting for, and I'm so glad you saw it. It's only small, it's still going to go on for a little bit longer, a bit of urinating and defecating, and then this pep rally will continue, and they cheer each other up before they're about to go out and hunt. So, folks, I like it when a plan comes together, because I've waited a long time for that to happen this afternoon. Let's get Andrew in a nice position there. You can see those dogs nicely. So now it all gets a little bit serious. They start to have a little bit of a think about what's going on. The pet rally is starting to slow down now, but there's still a lot of licking and grooming, and the subordinate animals. I think the male that's being licked there is the alpha. I'm just trying to view that and figure that out, but just bear with me. Just bear with me, folks, as we're looking. I'm just going to look through the binoculars now. But there's a beautiful bit of grooming going on there. If I just roll down a bit for you, mate. Just let me move forward a little bit for you, matey. Okay. Isn't that lovely to see? I'd be having I'd be putting, if I was a betting man, I'd probably put money on that was the alpha male. That one that's getting all the attention there. And potentially the one at the front is is just in front of those guys, probably about 10-15 feet in front of those two that are socially interacting now. The ones is the alpha female. It's just a guess, but I'm pretty sure that's the alpha male. And I'm just so glad you saw that pep rally, everyone. I was just sitting there and thinking, oh, should we go? Should we stay? Should we go? And this is what it's about. And this is why you have patience in the bush and you see these beautiful, beautiful interactions. I mean, they could lie down again now, but I think this is just the beginning of their afternoon activity. To give you a little bit of my have a sensory update. Temperatures definitely dropped from 26 degrees Celsius, like in the 80s, down to probably early 20s, probably late 70s Fahrenheit. And we've got a beautiful, beautiful afternoon sunshine just coming through. Not too hot now because that sunshine's dropping below the tree line. And I've got a beautiful waft of that pungent smell from the wild dogs as well. We're in the vegetation we're in at the moment is quite thick. We're going to be in a really tricky area to follow these guys, but I'm going to do my best for you. There's going to be a bit of bush bashing. If I get another flat tyre, we're history, folks. I'm going to have to cross over to Peter for the rest of the evening, and he'll get me out of trouble. But he'll probably have to come and get me out of trouble as well, because we've had a bit of flat tyre issue, but no biggie. We're still on the road. In this country as well, when you're driving through it, there's loads of sticks sticking up that are just so sharp, and we just happen to not see one. When I say we, that was a collective we. I don't think Andrew was involved in it because I was driving. I didn't see it and got a puncture, but aren't they beautiful? Look at that dapple light. That dapple light that just washes over them there. There's activity on the horizon, folks. I have a funny feeling, this is my guess, that they are going to go down to one of the dams to have a drink. And it could be Viatella Dam. If it is, I've got a good idea that we can get down through this way, and I'm going to really try and follow these guys on. They are starting to move off, so we're going to start moving off with them. Starting to move now. And they get this trot on. Once they get this trot on, this is where it gets a bit tricky. So Andrew, I'm going to rely on you too, buddy. I'm going to watch your head, mate. I'm going to watch your head in the aerial. You're going to have to just keep an eye on me. You've got a little bit more elevation up there, mate, when it comes to seeing them through the long grass. I also don't want to go down a big hole for us. So folks, there's a few things to think about, but all together, you're on Wild Safari Live, guys, and we've got wild dogs again. And wow, HD is a happy man. Andrew, you said it was going to be a good day, buddy. All right, how are we going to get through this? Bear with me, folks, just bear with me. I've still got them in view. Just watch yourself, mate. Still got them eyeball, folks. I've still got them about probably 50 metres ahead of me. They're up on a termite mound there, mate. Just having a bit of a sniff around. Oh, I just got a wonderful big waft of wild dog then as well. You can really smell them now. The wind is in their favour, that's for sure. And that's an interesting thing to take note of, folks. What they've done is they've just walked into the wind. So they've got the wind on their side. The wind's coming into their face. No animals are going to smell them coming up to them. But I tell you what, I can smell them from behind. They are really strong. We're going to be able to go so far with these guys. It's getting incredibly thick, but I'll do my very best for you. They're just here. You might go in a little bit. You can see them through there, Andrew, just going through the bush. They've got a pretty good run down here. I'm sorry, it's a little bit of a running commentary that goes all over the shop. It's about holes and sticks and watch out and duck your head, Andrew, and there they are and everything. But we're going to give it a good go. Oh, there, watch that hole, mate. Oh yeah, I got that one successfully. Right, this is a bit tricky. This is very tricky. Here, folks, I do apologise. Stand by. Hold on. See, you just keep an eye on them, buddy. Okay, still got them, folks. Still got them. If you can go in a little bit tighter, Andrew, people can see them just going through that bush there. I do apologise, but they're running down here now, and I do have a feeling they're going down to a water point. I really want to try and stay with them. Really tight through here, folks. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. I don't know how we're going to do this. This is tight. This is really tight. Okay, Andrew, I've got a plan, mate. I reckon they're heading down that direction. I'm going to try and cut around there and cut them off, mate.
Resources is available to her. But they live in the wild to about 55, 60. So I would guess 45 maybe. If it's a really healthy elephant, lots of good resources available. Maybe a little bit older for the last calf. Something in that region. They can have calves from as young as 12, 13, normally 15, 16, 17 onwards. They start having their first offspring. Again, that could depend a lot. Also, the frequency of offspring can depend a little bit on population stress. Again, resources play a very big role. And it's how easily can they raise the young without putting unnecessary strain on their own health relative to food availability, water availability. That's a great smell. There's a lot of smells in the bush that's really nice, and obviously, you know, flowers and grasses and the rain. You know, when it's just rain, it's one of my favorite. Many of you probably favorite smell. You get that rich sense of soil, really. I mean, it's nitrates that you smell effectively, but love that smell. What I was smelling now when I commented on it, it's a bush smell, but it's not a bush smell, if you know what I mean. And of course, you don't know what I mean because I haven't explained it. It's the smell of a fire when it starts to burn. And don't worry, it's no bushfire. We are close to the lodge at the moment, and the breeze is coming from the lodge towards us, so you can smell that combretum wood, which is the kind of wood they're burning there. It's quite a sweet scent to it, and it's just one of those things that sort of brings back nostalgic memories. Years and years of working in the bush. In the mornings, driving back from your morning game drive, sometimes as you get close to the lodge and the wind is just right, you could literally catch the smell of coffee and bacon and eggs. Great smell when you've been on game drive for 3 hours. And in the afternoons and evenings when you're coming back towards camp, you always had the smell of the campfire. And you know, smell is a very strong memory trigger. Quite often you'll remember things from your childhood even just from smelling something. And I think smelling that scent of campfire brings back all those memories of great conversations around the campfire. It's a great place to talk. HT and myself last night were sitting around the fire. We had a little window. It was just the two of us around there. The other guys went for a little short drive. And it's just such a great place to chat. Talk about things, discuss things, not discuss things, just sit and think. Campfires for thousands of years, for millions of years, have played a massive role in not just human behavior, but I even think in human evolution. It's around fires where people sat and not only figured out how to cook food and stay warm, but also figured out things and thoughts and philosophies. So fires have played a massive role in our lives. So when you smell it, it brings back maybe some of those memories. Guys, great news. They're back in a good area again. So you're going to go back to the dogs, enjoy it with HT, and keep us updated. We'll keep looking for things this side. See you just now.
We found them, guys. We found them. I'm so excited we found them. We came crashing through that bush to try and get them, and we picked them up on this road. We've got a couple of other vehicles with us that have been very kind to let us just come in front. And I'm going to pull back at some point and let Taxon let his guests have a close look as well. But what we've got here is we've got 3 dogs just on the road. There's one just off the side of the road as well, and there's one down further. I think they are making their way to Buffelshoek Dam. We're going to follow on, and we're going to try and we're going to try and make sure that we follow on and stick with them, okay? So we're right with you folks, bear with us, we're just going to stay at a really nice controlled distance. Doesn't that look fantastic? So beautiful, so beautiful. Beautiful light, but you can see the way that they're looking into the vegetation as well. Every opportunity they get, they'll look in, but my feeling is that they are going to go to Buffalo Sook Dam. It's just a gut feeling, but if any opportunity arose, they would definitely take it up, because you can see that one dog looking in there now, always stopping to look in. What a beautiful shot that is, folks. They're not log dogs anymore. Oh, I love these animals so much. They're just so beautiful to watch, and they're the cohesive unit that stick together and work together and spend so much time together. But I'm absolutely rapt that you saw that pep rally. I was waiting for it, and I really wanted you to see it, and we did. So when a plan comes together, it makes you feel kind of nice, because you know you want to share these experiences with people, and that's what Wild Safari Live's all about. And when you've seen it a couple of times before in your life, you probably, you know, I've seen it dozens of times when I've been with Wild Dog, but when you try and explain it to somebody, it doesn't really make that much sense when you don't have the pictures. When you have the pictures of that squeaking and that bouncing and interacting, it's just a magical thing to watch. We got a question earlier today about why the numbers are declined so much, and I touched on it, and I don't think I was thinking about it after at lunchtime. I don't know if I answered both halves of the question. One half was about, was it human persecution or human pressure on the wild dogs that caused their decline, and I gave that answer that was part and parcel of it. But they are very susceptible to rabies and distemper as well, because of the home ranges that they do traverse. They do come in contact, if it's not in a protected area like what we're in now, they do come in contact a lot with domestic dog territories or areas, and they can pick up those diseases, and if that situation occurs, they end up suffering badly. So it's a combination of a lot of factors, and all I can say is I'm a happy boy, and I think, Andrew, you a happy boy?
Super happy.
It's so fantastic to be with these guys. Now, even if they do go left into this adjoining reserve, you know, it's absolutely fine. We've had a magnificent encounter with them. Of course, we'd like to see them go down and drink and act out a bit more, but I have a feeling that they might go and have a little bit of an investigation. But you never know. They might be thirsty. It'll be all up to the alpha male and the alpha female, really, and whatever they do. Oh, there's a kudu there. Look at that, look at that. There's a kudu bull. Look at that. Kudu bull. Kudu bull hasn't seen it yet. Can you see it? It's run through there. Big animal for them to take on. Did you see that, Tex? Little big.
I will tell that guy to come in, because if they come that side, he won't go. There's a guy that is on standby.
Okay.
And he's not allowed to cross that side, so I'll tell him to come in.
Okay, mate. I think they might be going to Buffalo Sook Dam, yeah? What do you think?
I changed my, I was just worried because I was thinking that I will follow that kudu.
Yeah. So folks are just talking to Texan, one of the fantastic guides we work with, and asking his opinion about what he thinks they're going to do. They just did have a look at a kudu, but it was a big kudu bull, so I doubt that they'd be going anywhere near there. We'll just see what they do here. They might turn down to Buffalo Sook Dam, and if they do, all the better. If they don't, they'll go right along this this road, and we'll just stay on with them until they go wherever they want. Who knows? They've got their eyes open, folks. They really have got their eyes open. Might be going into Djuma now. Back into Djuma by the looks of things. If they go back into Djuma, we'll follow them in. If they carry on, we'll carry on as well. Taking a left hand at the moment. We won't follow them if they go left because we don't traverse that property. We'll move down a little bit closer and see what the situation is. They're still going along the road. We can still go along this road. If they see any opportunity, they will take it, and they're starting to pick up pace, so we might just get down a little bit closer to them right now. The situation is, folks, if you've just joined us, we're on the tail of a pack of 5 wild dog, African wild dog that we've been with for nearly half the day. We have Andrew and I have been doing a lot of sitting in the hot sun watching these guys sleep, which is a pretty pleasant pastime, I have to say, but I'm so glad that they're on the move again now for you, and you can see the beauty and the sheer magnificence of these creatures in all their glory, trotting along at a really comfortable pace, looking for any opportunity that arises. And I tell you, if they they see an impala, they will run for it. So if you've just joined us here at Safari Live, it's a great big welcome to you. You've joined us on a brilliant day. We've seen wild dog today. Pete's had an incredible hyena encounter, and Pete has this innate sense of what an animal's going to do. He just knows that the inquisitive nature of an animal, he's been around animals for so long, he's very, very good at it. Here's a great look at that paw up like that. Can you see that? Can you just zoom in a little bit for me, please, Andrew? The paw up on that right hand, animal on the right hand. He's seen something there. They're all standing back. Alpha female back a little bit further. Alpha male probably the one in the just off the road, and the alpha male is just watching something. If you have a close look at this, folks, look at the behavior here. They all stop. He's just watching. And now he's come back, and as he comes back and leads off again, they'll all follow on. Really fascinating behavior, everyone, to watch. So they're just stopping again. Alpha male's gone off to the left onto and he's coming back again. If you've just joined us and you haven't heard what we previously mentioned, this is the Investec pack. It was 7 about 3, maybe 7 days ago, I think. I can't remember. The guys did tell me about how long ago it was, and 2 animals died when they met up with another pack, and the other pack was a stronger pack and killed one of the members of this pack, and then fatally injured another one. So it's really, really nice to be with this pack. We've been with them for quite a long time, and I think we're going to have another vehicle just go in front of us now to give their people a bit of a look. And we're just going to keep an eye on as well. Everyone needs to have a bit of a look. Still going along this road. Could easily be travelling into another property. So we've got a great question from Grace in Texas, and Grace is asking, would the alpha male or the alpha female be leading this pack? And the answer is definitely yes. Definitely yes, Grace. It's probably the individual that's run off into the property on the left, and he may come back onto this road, but we'll just see what happens. Just doing a little investigation. Ah, right, little sky. I looked at the screen there. I didn't know where you'd actually. I didn't see where the camera went then, and I was looking at the dogs, watching their behaviour, and I was just about to come to a point to say there's an alarm call going from a squirrel up there, and I looked at the monitor, and there's Andrew with his camera on the squirrel. So well done, mate. You preempted. You're about 10 milliseconds ahead of me. A little alarm call going off from that squirrel. You might have heard, folks, as the wild dogs travelled underneath. Beautiful sunlight there. Trotting up this road, looking over into the property on the left a lot, folks, so they're picking up scent of something over there. As I said, if they do go into that property, we can't follow them, but at the same time, we've had an amazing encounter with these dogs today, and I think everyone's really, really happy with it. We'll still follow on as long as we possibly can. But just to give you the heads up of what could happen and why I wouldn't follow is because we don't traverse that reserve next door. So we're staying a respectable distance from the dogs as well. We're probably about 30 metres away, 40 metres away from them. Going to give a couple of these vehicles a bit of a look. It's a really good code of conduct and ethical thing to do. These guys have been amazing to us, particularly Texan in the green vehicle there, who is one of Djuma's guides, who's an amazing fellow and always brings us into sightings, and I just wanted to let his guests get up there and have a bit of a look as well. Very, very important. Picking up the scent of something there. A little bit of urinating. Maybe a potential rival pack has come through and scent marked there, and you can see the animal scent marking as well. Picking up a lot of scent from this area, but who knows what they're about to do. So we just got a really good question from Jimmerlin in Oklahoma, asking if two packs met, whether there'd be a confrontation and potentially they'd fight. Well, the answer to that is majority of the time, yes, Jimmerlin, there would be an altercation. Whether or not an animal is fatally wounded or wounded at all is another matter, but they would mob the other pack, and it does become a very aggressive confrontation or encounter. And it's anyone's guess how things what happens in that altercation, but as we know from experience of this pack meeting another pack the other day, 2 animals died, and yeah, quite a severe situation. I can definitely smell those dogs still. They're really pungent. So they're going down another road, folks, now. I think we're just going to get a nice long shot of them, mate, to finish. And we say farewell to our doggy friends, our wonderful wild dogs that we've been through an amazing time with today, right from the very, very start. If they carry on, they may come back, but I think they're on a mission that direction. They've picked up scent of something, and we may just sit here for a second just to watch, and I'll just come back to you and do a little recap of the wild dog situation today. Well, what hasn't it been incredible? We started off this morning with so I've put Andrew on a terrible angle here. He's had to re-level the camera. We're sort of on a bit of a tilt on the vehicle off onto the edge of a road here, and I just want to do a little recap with you and thank you for your patience. That's one of the most important things. Wild dogs have a very, very soft or close, big place in my heart, and I'm glad we stuck with them, because it was a matter of just being patient, seeing if we got any activity, and we did. It paid off. I think the most important thing to me out of today was that you saw that pep rally, and that to pep each other up, to G each other up, and get ready to re-greet, re-communicate, and re-socialise before they actually they went off and went for a hunt. So the other vehicles are carrying on as well. The dogs may be carrying on up a bit further. We'll take that up and follow on as well. But what I want to just say to you is thank you so much for your patience today, and understanding that these are such a unique species, such a rare species, for reasons that we've discussed earlier today, that if we don't stick with them and we don't go out and try and find them again, you may never see it again. And every little bit of behaviour that we saw today, there's things I saw today that I haven't seen that close before. It's really special stuff, guys, and that's what Wild Safari Live is all about. It's all about you. It's all about the interaction that you had with us today and asking all those wonderful questions. It's just fantastic stuff. And this morning, it was all over the place. My introduction was all over the place. It was just fantastic. But that's why this live safari is so wonderful and real. It's raw, it's edgy, and it's real. And hopefully imperfections become perfections. So we'll just carry on a little bit further. It looks like the guys are still with them. They might be walking parallel with them, and we'll I just did the right thing with good manners there to let the other cars, the other vehicles have a bit of a closer look, because we've been on them for a long time, and I'm sure you all understand that. But we'll get up close and see if they're there. Follow on a little bit up here. Just got a lovely question from Marianne in Boston. Hi Marianne, lovely to have you on board on this magical afternoon in the Sabi Sands here on Djuma Game Reserve. Mary's question is it true that wild dogs are the most social of all the predators? It really is. It depends how you classify social. It's a complex, very, very complex social structure. That is for sure. I'm going to follow on down here, down this road, just to see where the vehicles have gone. So, Mary, if you don't mind, I don't mean you to be looking at the back of my head as I'm talking. I'll come back to you. But just looking to see where we are and whether the wild dogs are still with us. So Mary, yes, they're incredibly complex and incredibly social. I would probably personally classify them as the most social of all the predators because of that cohesive bond where aggression isn't really part of their society. Whereas if you've got lions or hyenas, aggression is a huge part of their social structure. Battles between within the actual pack itself, and that's what I'm talking about, the cohesive unit. I'm not talking about where they meet up with another pack, because that will can get a bit messy. But within that structure, there's a lot of cohesive bond, and they do a submissive begging. It's nearly a begging that has to be for them to. They would rather beg than get into a fight. So there's this sort of real submissive begging that goes over the top at points where they're sounding like little adults, are sounding like little puppies. Now the other part to your question was, is it true that they regurgitate their food for their puppies? And that's very true. They have this ability to go off when the pups are in a very young stage and they're not going off to those kills. They'll set the pups off. If the pups are mobile, the pups will still follow on and probably stick with a female, a babysitter. Sometimes I've seen it's been the alpha female, but then other times I've seen them alpha male and the alpha female drop the pups off with the babysitter, so to speak. And when that happens, what they'll do is the alpha female normally would go back and get one of the that babysitter with the pups to come back and either eat the kill there, or if they went back to the pups and didn't take them back, they would regurgitate the food for them with this incredibly high-pitched shrilling and twittering that they do. So that's a reasonable answer to your question, I hope, Marianne. And I think to me, my personal opinion, they're my absolute favourite. I love leopard big time. I love all the animals, but the wild dogs, wow. They're just excitement. They've got the X factor, they really have. Driving along this road, folks, just to get a bit of an idea, just to calm down a little bit as well. Got a magical sunset happening, just settling down now and keeping our eyes open, because we could also come across another predator. But I just got a great question from James in Kansas, and James, welcome aboard. The questions today, folks, have been absolutely out of this world, all pertinent questions to exactly what we're doing, which is so brilliant. You've crafted this whole wild dog experience today. So James wants to know what the smell of wild dog is, and I sort of mentioned it before, but I can always elaborate on that. You know me, I can talk underwater with a mouthful of marbles, as they say. If I want to try and make it a little bit more sensory for you, if you can imagine you've ever been to a dog kennel, or if you know someone that breeds dogs, or I'm not talking about just a single dog, I'm talking about more of a smell that has been impregnated into a facility, like a dog kennel or a dog, or someone like where they put their dogs if they have to go away on holiday or something like that. They've got a certain distinct smell about them, and it's not a bad smell. It's just a dog smell. It's the smell of dogs, and if you can imagine that, and you can multiply that by about 100, that's what a wild dog smells like. But it's got a certain sweetness about it. It's got a sweetness about it that, not a musky smell, but a little tiny bit of a sweetness sort of to it. And I find that really incredible. I I find it a smell that as soon as I get a waft of it, it's a distinct smell of the bush for me. Wow. I can see a rare and endangered species coming up. Another one. They don't make many like this, that's for sure, folks. This is a rare and endangered species. A rare and endangered species. It's a Pretorius and a Mr. Brian. How are you guys?
Oh, not as good as you. You've been following wild dogs doing their thing, huh?
Mate, it's been absolutely amazing. Well, you know what? We were in that situation, mate. And you, Brian, you've been in it with Pete and I, and we've all been in it together. And I was just saying to everyone at home what do you do? Do you sit and wait or do you go? It's a flat animal. We had a great person, Chris, on Twitter, come up with a line instead of flat cats, instead of saying flat dogs, log dogs.
Log dogs. I like that. Nice one, Chris.
Chris, you got a winner there, mate. We're all going to refer to them as log dogs. But yeah, so they were flat. And I was just talking to everyone about hoping that they could see that pep rally, you know, when they wake up and they all squeak and they all talk to each other and licking and grooming. And I was sort of sitting there going, oh, we'll give it another 5 minutes. And sure enough, it happened right then, mate. So
awesome.
We love it when a plan comes together. Now, I hear you saw some pretty incredible elephants, guys.
Some nice ellies. It's that one. I mean, you guys, many of you know them as well. It's that female with a little bit of trunk missing.
Oh,
just
right.
The last, like, little bit.
Yeah.
And the big bull came in. Nice ellies. And to be quite honest, just enjoyed the drive as well. I mean, the guys were with you quite a lot with the dogs, so we just drove around looking for a few things. A bit of this and that. There's a bit more antelope activity than the last 2 days. We've seen herd of impala, kudu, nyala, just sort of general activity of that, which is good. And now, of course, we've got sunset, moonrise, waterholes. It's a beautiful sort of magic,
fantastic,
magic part of the day. So
you seem to be heading in the direction that I want to do a handover. We haven't done one of these before. This is a live handover. I'm going to hand over to you, buddy. This is brilliant. I've never done it before, Brian. I've suddenly become the director in the field. Hey, we're going to do a live handover here and go off with Pete and Brian because we didn't hit Toffleshoek Dam because the dogs ended up carrying on and then over into Toffleshoek.
They went up north,
So we're just going to tootle along here and have a bit of a look, and maybe you
Q pops out.
Take the wheel, sir.
Yeah. Q is a leopard, by the way. If you haven't joined us for many drives, I was looking for him now. Q is sort of Hayden's favourite. Kuma's my favourite. So
we've all got our favourite leopards, and we always look at. I mean, Pete's relationship with one particular leopard has been long standing. How many years, mate, with Karula?
Yeah.
How many years?
Karula I've known for. Well, I've actually known Karula genetically, I guess you could say, before she was born, because my favourite leopard before Karula was Safari, which was her mother. And the first time I came to Djuma was around, I don't even know exactly, sorry, I'm not one of those people that keep meticulous notes of where I've been when, but around 2002. And Karula is now, I think, about 10 years old, give or take. So, 2005, I wasn't in 2005, so I probably saw her the first time, maybe even as a cub at some stage, but didn't know her yet. But we've had lots of great time with her. So
absolutely. So there's some great, there's some great history here as well, folks. But mate, I'm going to hand over. You go and find some critters and have a good one, Brian. Great to see you. You're undercover. Undercover. I can't even tell it's you. Okay. All right.
Cheers. Guys. Well, see you later. We can have a look at the water and
I'll see you soon. All right, mate.
Next time we'll follow the dogs together. It's just there's no people today. So
there was.
Dogs are really the most fun. We can be 2 or 3 vehicles and you can sort of move like the dogs do as well.
Take care, big man. All right, bud.
Jump on here. Good jump, everyone. You've picked the vehicle to be on because we're driving along the sunset on the left-hand side. Hayden's only driving along with the sunset on his right-hand side. Now, guys, it's the kind of thing that we speak about often. HT and myself, as I said, we get along really well. It's just such a big bonus for us doing this because this really is, apart from being very exciting, there's a lot of factors to it. So, doing this with someone that's become one of my really good friends now has been such a massive positive to this. But we talk about it often, there's certain situations where it would be so cool to be in the same sighting together, wild dogs being a great example, because they move so fast, and we used to do this as well with the game drives, with the lodges, is once they start moving, they can often move faster than the vehicle. So the one vehicle can stay with him until you lose sight, and then get back to a road and sort of try and leap ahead again. And some stage that'll happen. We'll get that opportunity to go to really be hunting with wild dogs. Not that we haven't had. We had a brilliant experience last year together in one vehicle, HT myself, one hunt, and then Hayden had another one. I think it was just the next day. within a day or two later he had another hunt. So you never know what's going to happen. That's the beauty of this. You never know what's going to be around the next corner. We're on our way to Buffelshoek Dam. We'll have a little sort of peek at the sunset here to the left, and we'll try and make it to the waterhole round about sunset and see what we can find there and just enjoy the view as well. This is the time of day or the time of night, depending how you look at it, when things really start to happen. The predators start coming out, diurnal animals, your diurnal animals, let me get that out properly. They start slowing down a little bit. So it really is sort of the handover, like we did now from one vehicle to the next. This is the handover from the diurnal to the nocturnal animals, and there's a lot of activity in that sort of changeover period. So who knows, maybe tonight we're lucky and we see something we couldn't even have thought of. Maybe an aardvark or a pangolin, porcupine. Lots of things that we know are here, but don't see very often. So let's look around a little bit, talk a little bit, ask a few questions. If you have any, you can send it in Safari Live. That's with a hashtag in front, hashtag Safari Live, or you can email it as well, questions@WildEarthTV. Sorry guys, some Franklins on the road. That's a great question. Hello Heidi. Heidi's joining us from North Carolina. Heidi, you're asking if wild dogs and hyenas, if one of the two species dominate the other, or dominate each other in terms of certain areas. Well, this morning actually was a perfect example of how, you know, things can vary. When we found those wild dogs, they were running away from the hyenas, and as far as we could see from the tracks and sort of, you know, putting it all together afterwards, the wild dogs must have run onto or through the hyena den, and the hyenas obviously decided, whoa, we can't have wild dogs around where we've got youngsters potentially, and they chased the dogs. At that stage, what we saw was 6 hyenas. I never actually got a count on those dogs. I forgot to ask HT how many there were. Maybe if you guys can just let me know quickly. But so the hyenas chased the wild dogs, and then most of the hyenas stayed behind. Sorry, there were 7 hyenas because we had 6 that stayed with us in the vehicle. We had an amazing experience with them. One hyena went on. He was following the dogs. I guess maybe he was feeling quite brave, you know, ooh, I'm chasing them away. Or maybe he thought if they do hunt, he can get rid of, you know, get opportunity for food there. And that hyena then ended up getting chased around by the wild dogs. So the roles sort of got reversed. And beautiful footage. I watched it earlier this afternoon. And Hayden described it very beautifully, the behavior as well. Where the dogs were chasing the hyena, and I presume it was the alpha male chasing the hyena, and he was sort of yapping or biting at him. He got a few good bites in at him. And as he got to the top, sort of up a little bank, he had a go at the hyena. They were on top of each other, and the hyena ran off again, and the wild dog was ready to go, and then he looked around and he saw, whoa, I'm alone, but the rest of the pack are back there, and he immediately backed off. So it is a little bit a case of, with both of them, strength in numbers. So a hyena would normally be dominant over a wild dog in a straight 1-on-1 or 5-on-5, but under certain conditions, if there's more of one than the other, then they would be able to dominate each other. In terms of that, with respect to the territorial behavior or where they are, in other words, actual area, they don't really dominate each other in that sense. They cover very large areas. Spotted hyenas can have an area of a few thousand hectares quite easily. You know, 4,000 or 5,000 hectares, that's 10,000, 15,000 acres. Whereas wild dogs have got incredibly large areas, and not so much territorial, more home ranges, areas that they operate in. Wild dogs in this area in Kruger, I'm sure it varies quite a lot, but you could say anything from 20 up towards 40,000, 50,000 hectares. In acres, that would be, let's say, roughly 70 to 150,000 acres. So wild dogs would actually move through an area that might have easily 10 or 20 clans of hyenas living in the total area that they operate in. So there's not a direct competition over territory so much as it is over food and resources and potentially, you know, protecting one from the other kind of thing. So it really does depend on a lot of factors, as you might well notice, Heidi, from my very long answer. Chula is just asking if wild dogs hunt every day. Yeah, pretty much. It's not like lions that hunt If lions hunt a buffalo, they will feed in it for 2 or 3 days, 4 days, depending on the size of the buffalo, how many lions. And then they could go 2, 3, 4 days without eating. Similar, you can see the same thing about leopard. It would also hunt sometimes. Oh, there's someone having a sundowner drink. I'm just going to go past the dam. But wild dogs, because they hunt smaller prey, and there's many of them, they have to not only hunt every day, they sometimes have to hunt more than once every day. So they do hunt often in the morning, in the afternoons, which is why you can so often be successful. You can so often be successful if you follow them in actually experiencing a hunt. Right, you're going to see a couple of people standing around you. They're having a beautiful time next to the waterhole, enjoying sundowners. Hey guys, how's it going? Hello. Which vehicle is that? There's Jacobin. Come for. Good Johnny. Nico. That's Elvis. Not the one that left the other building, but the one that works at Jacobin Camp. He's a guy that I've also known, like many of the guys here, for quite a long time. Shangan guy. Guys, we might just have a little breakup of audio or a spike or two. We're just going through a deep dip here. So I'm just going to... show you the waterhole. They're having a sundowner on that side. We can have a quick look from this end. Love this dam, Buffelshoek Dam. You're still going to see many amazing things here in the course of this winter. As it gets drier, this is one of the waterholes that really keeps water long and late into the dry season, into winter. So as all other waterholes in the area start drying up one by one, this is the one that will get many, many animals visiting. Beautiful moon in the top there. It's not quite full moon. We're in what's called the waxing gibbous phase. So more than half a moon, less than a full moon, and busy getting bigger. Nice big moon there. Still building up to a full moon. Hello Kathy. I've got a few Kathys on the drive this afternoon. Kathy from Tennessee is asking if I can just explain what is an apex predator. Well, apex refers to being at the top of the whatever you're at, the point of something. One of my favorite, I was never a big fan of Latin names. I didn't go and learn every Latin name for every tree. But there's a few of them that have got nice sort of explanations or logical parts of the Latin name. And one of them is a red bush willow, which is called a combretum, like the other combretums, the other bush willows. Apiculatum, which refers to the point of the leaf, which has got a very specific pointy shape at the apex. So apex would be anything at the top of the pyramid or the top of the food chain, if you want. So apex predators would refer to the predators that are dominant, if you want, at the top of the list when it comes to who can take what. So the highest of the apex predators, I guess, would be lions. They're the most dominant. And then spotted hyenas. And then wild dogs would normally dominate leopard because of their numbers. But that can vary, as we just discussed not so long ago when we were talking about hyenas and wild dogs. Circumstances would play a role. Hyenas can sometimes dominate lions if there's more hyenas. So there are a lot of roles, or a lot of things that play a role in that. But apex predators in the area that we're in would refer to lion, hyena, wild dog, leopard. I think that would be the ones that I would put in that bracket. Okay guys, we're not going to sit here too long. We're going to let those other guests enjoy their sundowner. And we're going to make the most of the last part of the drive. We've got about half an hour or so left. And in half an hour, so many things can happen in the bush. Sometimes great things happen in a second or two. So let's go see what we can find. Beautiful. beautiful sky. It's 1 we're going to see what happens. As I said, half an hour, so many things can happen. We are on one of the big boundary roads here. In fact, this is where the wild dogs were running only some minutes ago. Quite often driving on roads at this time of night, you can bump into things. Leopard, lion, again, all your predators, animals with soft feet, elephant, those kind of things. They like walking on the road because it's easy to walk on. And if the road is going where they're going, easy way to get there. So we're going to follow the road a bit, see what we can find. We'll see how the time goes. If we have enough time, which we might just have, I am going to sort of head towards the hyena den. And perhaps if we can get there before the end of drive, we can see what's going on there. We might also, not necessarily, but we might come across hyena en route as well, because there were wild dogs moving through, and hyenas often, they pick up the scent of another predator that's moved through. They might follow it a bit just to see maybe a bit of food we can get hold of. So let's see how it goes. Maybe we've got time enough to get to the den. Unless we bump into something, then we'll have a look at what we're looking at. I guess that sort of makes sense somewhere. Meantime, this is a lovely time of day just to be quiet, reflect a little bit on all the things we've experienced, or just have a little chat about something. If you have any questions, feel free to send them through. And don't worry if there's a little spike or two just now. We're just going through a deep dip there, so as soon as we're out the other end we can talk again. Bush is so beautiful this time of the afternoon. Late afternoon, the sun has set, a little bit of light left. It's cooling down as well. I must say it's a very pleasant change. The first 2 nights after H and myself arrived was quite hot. It still felt very much like sort of middle summer. And then yesterday we had those clouds. We had a spectacularly sort of scenic afternoon yesterday. Big clouds, looked like rain. Didn't rain in the end, but cooled down nicely. So we're much more in sort of autumn weather now than we were not even 48 hours ago. It's getting cool enough. I see Brian has got a jacket on already. I'll probably put one on shortly. So we can have a nice cool evening. Should have a beautiful morning again tomorrow as well. But you always have a beautiful morning. I've never been in the bush ever. In fact, I've never been, how shall I say this without sounding like I'm trying to be pretentious. I've never not had a beautiful morning in my life. I love mornings. I just think mornings are great. You know, everything is new and the things of the day ahead of you. And because most of my life I've lived and worked in environments where the weather is very much a part of you, I just don't believe there's something like bad weather, yes, but morning's always beautiful. There's wrong clothing, that's definitely, I've experienced that. If it's raining and you don't have the right stuff on, then it's not nice. It doesn't mean the morning's not nice. I was way in the distance. It's not every day we're in a place where you can actually see it. We often talk about the Lowveld, this area that we're in, Djuma Game Reserve, part of Kruger. We often refer to it as the Lowveld. If you look right on the horizon, just there, you can see some mountains. Now those are quite far away. And why I tell you that they're far away is that they are quite large mountains. That's the Drakensberg Mountains, or the escarpment. And once you go up through those mountains, there's a couple of mountain passes and tunnels that get you up to the top. Then you go into the Highveld. So it literally is Highveld as in elevation, Lowveld where we are, we're not very high above sea level. So that would be up towards, it's called the Blyde River Canyon. Beautiful part of South Africa as well. A spectacular mountain, big red cliff faces, beautiful rivers coming out of there, waterfalls, really beautiful part of South Africa. continue looking. And HT is doing the same. And he's at a waterhole, so he might be finding something there. He's also quite close to the hyena den, so maybe he's going to have a look there as well. Let's see what we find. We've got a little bit of time left. I'm sure there's at least one, maybe 2 or 3 surprises left for us. Enjoy it, and I'll see you closer to the end of drive.
Not a bad place just to sit and answer a few questions or have a bit of a chat with you and finish off what was a, for me, well not finish off, but just have a little bit of a breather, because it was an incredible morning and afternoon with those dogs. Really wonderful stuff. We've got a couple of solitary buffs over here. One is really submerged over there in the water. Have a look how far under he's in the water there. Really enjoying that cooling water on a really hot afternoon that's just coming to a close. If you just pan along, yeah, actually the individual on the right of the screen there, you just go in a little bit tighter on him, please, Andrew. He's a big boy. You can really just tell the size of that individual from the thickness of his neck and the boss. That boss is the big area in between those horns that protects his skull there. But I can't get a fantastic angle on it from where we are, but he's a very big individual. And some people say, well, why isn't he a dominant animal and holding onto some cows? Well, there could be an individual that's bigger than him or stronger than him or has more of a temperament, greater resistance to doing that, and he's been ousted, but you just don't know. And he may go back into a herd, and you get a transient herd that comes through, or several clans that join up to make a greater herd that comes through. They might trail at the back of the herd. You just never know. It's very complex, very social buffalo. But what an afternoon. Wow. I'm just really reflecting on it. I don't mean to make a pun there from where we're sitting, but just reflecting on that afternoon and the morning. Sometimes you forget what you do in a day. Like you wonder, you think it's so much. You sort of think, did that all happen today? Did that all happen today? If you've just joined us, this is your first drive on Safari Live, and I haven't introduced myself. My name's Hayden, and Andrew on camera with me. And it was one of those days that we'll remember, and I did say it this morning, just in case you missed it. Andrew got up this morning, he came to the vehicle, we were getting the vehicle ready, he puts all the cameras on, I get all this side of, check all the tyres and everything, and he just said, I said, how you feeling, mate? And he said, it's going to be a good day today, I'm feeling fantastic, it's going to be a good one. And sure enough, wow. 20 minutes in, bang, we've got a wild dog pack on the hunt, and we stayed with them. We had that interaction up on the top area where we watched them in that beautiful light hunting, and then we followed them down to Viatella Dam where they had a drink, and then they had an encounter or a confrontation with a hyena, which I think the hyena came off second best. But they've got a fearsome reputation, wild dogs. They're extraordinary, and I just love. Sorry. And sometimes we get leopard come and stop there. But have a look at that. That's quite a beautiful little reflection. There's buffalo there. Really nice. Lovely little bat flying across here, folks. It's very hard to track, Andrew. I do apologise, mate. Lovely little batty flying around here. We might see him fly through shot. I've got a great question from Steph in the UK. Hi, Steph. I hope the temperature's rising there. When I left, we're starting to get some really nice temperatures in the United Kingdom, so I hope the weather's good for you. Steph wants to know a couple of questions about females and reproduction and lactating females and females that are and who feeds the pups, etc. Well, Steph, there's an alpha male and an alpha female. They are the only two ones that breed. Very occasionally it's been recorded that another female might be get pregnant. There has been situations where that situation, that particular occurrence, is dealt with in a very, very, some people would find it a harsh way. But just to tell you a little bit about the lactation process, the alpha female will be the only one that feeds. Some of the other ones will sort of look after those pups, but not lactate or not feed them. And then at a certain age, about 5.5 weeks, they'll start to get a little bit of solid food, and the parents will come back down and come and regurgitate a bit of food for them. And I'm constantly looking down here, folks, just to keep an eye out. In the corner of my eye, I saw something there, but it wasn't a leopard. And what that means is that you've got a very, very strict regime. Now, there has been a situation where I've read that two females, some scientists did record, two females did get pregnant at the same time, and the alpha female prevented the other female, the other mother, from actually feeding her pups, and hence they died. So that's a really strict regime of managing the numbers in the pack, and so there doesn't get too many numbers, too many mouths to feed, too many hunting expeditions, too much work, and basically the pack starts to go into demise. So it's a very, very big job raising those pups. So yeah, hopefully that answered your question, Steph, and I hope the UK's looking good. The bluebells will be out pretty soon, I'm sure, if they're not out already. Just constantly looking around, folks. I'm just also turning the game drive channel down because it's quite loud in my ear, and I can't concentrate talking to you sometimes with it. I'm looking around all the time, so you hear noises. Leslie in California, hello and welcome to you. California, what a fantastic place, and I'm sure the weather's beautiful there at the moment too. Why am I fixated on weather? It's because I probably live in the UK. That's what we talk about. Leslie, fantastic to have you on board, and a really, really great question as well. Would the buffalo take down, would the wild dog potentially take down the buffalo? No, it's just too big. I mean, I have seen wild dog sort of hassling buffalo. If it was a situation where, remembering what I always say, there's always exceptions to the rule. They'd never take it on a bull like this or anything, but there might be a sick calf or something like that that gets lost or something, and the wild dog might take advantage of that. You do see some extraordinary things in the delta in Botswana of these animals hunting at speed, bigger prey like letui and stuff like that. But it just depends on what the animal is, what the situation is, how many dogs there are as well. That's a huge factor. But they generally spend time on the smaller antelope. They'd probably do young kudu and adult impala, and depending on where it occurred, particular types of gazelle and things like that. But generally speaking, they stick to the smaller antelope. So hopefully that's answered your question. So, a beautiful afternoon, a beautiful evening upon us, and I want to go back to see what Pete's up to, because he's always up to something, and I just needed to come and sit at a dam here and have a bit of a reflect on what's happened today with you, and talk to you a little bit more about wild dogs, because it's been wild dog-tastic today. And with a new name for flat wild dogs, calling them log dogs. Thanks, Chris. I'm going to cross over to Pete now, and we'll see you just now.
Welcome back this side. Sorry, we oh, there it goes. Sorry, we just spotted something just before he came to us, but it is one of the most difficult things to see and to show, because it's tiny and it's bouncier than a rubber ball. It's called a bush baby. To be more specific, the lesser bush baby, but that one has bounced away. Absolutely amazing little things. Very beautiful to see, big eyes. It really looked like a fluffy toy that you would buy a little kid, but that one is gone. It would have been awesome to show you one. Welcome back in the vehicle this side. Just making my way towards Sandy Patch. I don't think there's going to be quite enough time to make it all the way to the hyena den, but we'll check Sandy Patch, see if there's maybe a dappled thing walking around, who knows. As it's getting darker, we had a question from Velma in... I forgot where Velma was from. Whoa, sorry guys. Michigan. Yes, Velma from Michigan. Hello Velma. Just want to check here, I saw some tracks. No, it's hyena tracks. I thought it might be leopard. Velma, you were just asking about the Southern Cross. Now, I love the stars. I used to do a lot of talks of stars on game drives, because we see such beautiful stars here in the Southern Hemisphere. But you were asking if we would be able to see the Southern Cross and whether we'd be able to see it on the camera. Yes, and partial yes to the next question. But we've got almost a full moon. We saw it earlier at Bafusuk Dam. And the moon obviously gives lots of light, and it makes it quite difficult to see the stars. So to show it with a camera, apart from not looking quite as brilliant on the camera as it does if you're sitting here, it would be quite tricky to show it, especially with the moonlight being part of it. So I don't think we'll be able to show it. But once it comes out, I'll show you where it is. We are driving south at the moment. Now, you guys in the northern hemisphere, you're very lucky. You've got the North Star. So if you want to know where you're going, and you know your stars just a little bit, very easy. You see the North Star, that's it. You know where north is. Now, keep in mind, the North Star is a bright star that's in line with that imaginary axis of the Earth. So north-south, that star is always pointing north, no matter where you are in the northern hemisphere. The Southern Cross is our equivalent of that, but it's not a cross that says there exactly is south. You have to do a bit of sort of mathematics with it. So the Southern Cross looks a little bit like a kite. For those of you that have never seen it or never seen pictures of it, there's actually a fifth star as well, Epsilon Cruxus, but it's not as prominent. And so imagine a kite that's flying like this. Well, I can't turn my hand all the way around, but that's the kite. So a little sort of diamond shape. And then to the left of it are two very bright stars, Alpha and Beta Centauri, the two pointers. And those two stars together. So you've got the Southern Cross, if it was sitting in a perfect position, sitting like that, and the two pointers would be two stars sitting like that. So there's your two stars, there's the Southern Cross, and you take a perpendicular line between the two pointers, and you take the long axis of the kite, or the diamond, or the Southern Cross, and where those two lines meet, you get your southern point, or your celestial south pole, so the equivalent of the North Star for you guys in the northern hemisphere. But depending on the time of year and the time of night, this is turning, because the Earth is turning. The Southern Cross is doing this movement around it. Obviously you can see it 24 hours a day, but you can only see it at night because that's when it's dark. But it is a beautiful constellation, and it's a very, very important one if you want to get direction and you don't have the modern technologies of GPSs or compasses. Back in the day, guys had to work that out, and then from that point they had to then get their sextant out, and then from that they had to work out their latitude. So not quite as easy as just taking your smartphone and downloading a GPS app. Okay, let's look around a little bit. the first stars just coming out now, but we've got so much moonlight. It's beautiful. Full moon is beautiful in the bush. You can drive around actually without lights in full moon. Debbie from Ohio is just asking something regarding elephants. Earlier today we were sitting with the female and the two youngsters, and then the bull elephant joined them, and we talked a little bit about estrus for the female and must behavior for the males. Now Debbie was just asking, Debbie, I'm not sure if I understand exactly the two parts of the question, but you're asking with the estrus in females whether that's influenced by the seasons, I presume the sort of autumn, winter, summer seasons, and whether that influences the must behavior in males. Elephants, unlike for instance kudu or impala, a lot of your antelopes, where the seasons play a very definite role in the estrus of the females, or alternatively speaking in when the young ones are born. Most of those animals have got set seasons for rutting. The impalas are going into rutting season now, mating season. With elephants and most of your very large animals, they don't have specific seasons for when the young are born. So an elephant cow could have a calf at any time of the year, and by that obviously it means that they could be in estrus any time of the year. The estrus of females don't put males into must, but bulls in must will go looking for females in estrus. So big bull elephants, we talked about it a little bit earlier as well. A big bull, a guy really in his prime, we're talking about a bull elephant, let's say 40, 42 years old. He would go into must for 3 or 4 months, and in that time he would look for females in estrus and actively seek them out. Ellies are great though. We'll see some more tomorrow. There were lots of tracks today, so we can talk more about it tomorrow. We had a great day with them. Thanks for joining us. From myself, Peter Pretorius, and from Brian behind the camera, it's been a lovely evening, a lovely afternoon, and HT is going to show and maybe let you hear a few things about hyenas. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Well, folks, it's been an amazing day. I use the word amazing a lot, I know, but there's no real other word to describe what happened today. I just wanted to do a little recap for you, and thank you all for your incredible questions. Firstly, that was really a fundamental part of how the wild dog conversation was crafted today. You did that. I've just got to turn my radio down again. I apologise. Okay, that's my the game channel. It's really great to have you on board, and we wouldn't do this without you, and we couldn't do it without you. So the way that you crafted that, I really was happy about today. You were part of it. You were with us. You're with us all the way. So in the beginning, when we first saw those wild dogs, you know what it was for me? I have to be completely honest with you. When I heard through that radio that there was wild dog on Djuma, my heart rate just rose, and I looked around at Andrew and I said, that's what I wanted to see today. Oh my goodness, I was like, I can't believe they've come onto Djuma. And I really felt that. As soon as I hear the word wild dog, I'm like, I've got to find those guys. And obviously you do just make sure that you be obviously morally and ethically sound about it, but I was really keen to see them. So I really want to thank Peter for pushing me into that, and he's an amazing guy, and he's done that for me today because he knows how much I love them. So I've got to go and find him Karula one day as soon as I possibly can too, if he doesn't. So what happened then was there was a beautiful shot where we were driving along, and the wild dogs were off in about 100 meters from us. We were driving at the same speed as them. It was about 10 miles an hour, probably just under 20 kilometers an hour. Beautiful shot, never forget that, with the light on the dogs and their beautiful markings going through the golden grass. And then they ended up going down behind the lodge and down to Viatella Dam, which was fantastic to see them drink. Silhouette again, gorgeous light, fantastic looking animals on the water. And then the hyena appeared, and there's always a hyena trailing behind looking for scraps of a lot of the predators. But those wild dogs were just like, you are out of here, and they chased him and nipped him and so on and so on. chased him right around the dam, and we were positioned up on the dam wall, so we had a full 270-degree view right around. So it was just beautiful. I really enjoyed that spot. And then we followed them, and then we went through that amazing country, really deep, dark country, left them, came back and found them in the afternoon, got a flat tire. It was all worth it. And then you saw that pep rally, which was really important, that real fantastic greeting and excitement after they'd all woken up. Beautiful stuff, beautiful day, and all I can say is thank you for being with us on Safari Live. Please come back and join us tomorrow. We'd love to have you in the morning with us. It's been an absolutely exceptional day for me, and as I always say, I couldn't do it without you. I couldn't do it with Andrew, without the big team of people that we've got working with us. It's just amazing. So from me and Andrew, I'd like to sign off for tonight and say thank you very much. We're going to farewell to you from this magnificent location here in the Djuma and Arathusa Game Reserves in Sabi Sands. We'll see you just now.